All right, hello, and welcome into episode 167. 167 of Shackled City. Man, 167, we're closing the gap, man. We've got, 33 more before we're at that big-ass milestone. Are you guys ready?
My body is ready.
Is it though? Like, let's be real. Like, is it?
I think the next big one's gonna be the 175.
That's gonna
I feel like that's
gonna be pretty good, yeah.
And then after that we got 200.
We've got a lot of things that are kind of coming to a head for sure. But what do you think is gonna happen at 175? What's gonna be the penultimate moment for that milestone?
TPK.
We'll finally get through the week and we'll finally end Dougal Ross's life.
Yo, that's gonna be a lot sooner than 8 sessions from now.
That's what you're hoping for.
No, I know what's gonna happen. Because if it's 8 sessions from now, your whole fucking city will have been on fire. The elemental plane of flame will just fucking incinerate this place. It's gonna be fissures, man. That's it.
In other words, I went ahead and failed a magic check again.
If we manage to lollygag our fucking way through the next 8 sessions,
I am so pissed that I didn't get that. Like, seriously, that would have been brag-worthy.
Goodness gracious.
How bad was your wild magic? Oh, I went ahead and called a meteorite.
That makes me so happy. Oh, god damn it, that makes me so happy. Alright, let me get a sheet of paper here because I know people are going to be blasting me with this. So guys, as you know, we do wild magic in these parts. It is in fact a new month. If you wish to utilize your wild magic, please let me know.
Don't do it.
Remember, you can use your wild magic to also save the heroes. You can use it on me, or you can use it to counter effects. So, consider it. Choose wisely. Yes, wisely. All right. So what happened last time we played? Does anybody remember?
I came back from the demons, and I went and chilled out and read up on Ouijas. Did a lot of research and looked around.
Yes, you did. You did a fair amount of research on Ouijas.
I remember exactly how the session ended, and that's all I honestly remember.
Jakob, for his part, went ahead and started his way back to Cauldron in tow with Marion. Just looking forward to getting back home, seeing the city, and hopefully seeing his fledgling once Swire, Cort.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a really fucked up dream sequence.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
What's cracking with the Rahk? What's happening in that neighborhood?
Hit. Cracking. Rock.
Dancing.
See what you did there. I met Keegan Gelf. That was pretty cool.
You did meet Keegan.
Pretty cool dude.
He survived! Yay!
You got fucking
Him and
bit.
his mouse.
Yeah, you got bit by a talking fucking mouse, dude.
Yeah, that
Our bro bit the fuck out of me.
dude, that would have killed a commoner. Commoners have, like, on average, between 1 and 4 hit points, and I think you took 4 for that. So yeah, that would have killed a commoner.
You just
Probably
made a mistake by
shouldn't
telling
be-
us all that.
Probably shouldn't be as okay as we are with him casually cool with attempting manslaughter, but you know.
Well, now
doesn't-
that I know what I gotta aim under, I know, oh yeah, I can basically just not breathe on a commoner.
You shouldn't. I think I actually.
Or
I was
You
saying
could
this
breathe on
earlier.
all the commoners.
Look, if you
that's a way to
take his
do it, yeah.
character in the right way, you can just start punching all of them in the chest cavity.
You
All I'm
can-
saying is,
backhand them, trying to protect them, and do over 20 points of
Look,
non-lethal damage.
if any can cause mass murder in the town, you can cause mass murder in the town. Just don't get caught.
Jacob's
for it.
just weeding out the weak. You know, he's just kind of sitting there like Dolph Lundgren. If he dies, he dies.
Oh, that's what that. So Jacob is now Dolph Lundgren. Okay, that changes everything. I suddenly don't feel bad for him anymore.
Bub, I have a big anticipated question for you. When do we start our tournament arc?
You know,
next week.
maybe we'll see.
Can that be the 175? Is that when we start our
Hey,
tournament for the?
How about instead of building a guild hall, we build an arena?
An arena.
Yes. Can we build a club where people fight?
Well, you
But
know,
can't
there's a
talk about
lot of real
Yeah, you're
estate
not allowed
in
to.
Cauldron right now, and I bet it's up for cheap.
Hey, I'm just saying. Drain out Crater Lake.
Fight pit.
You got a Coliseum right there.
Yeah, you could totally just make that a coliseum. The bathhouse could just be a ludus, so you guys could go in and just spank dudes into shape and be like, "Go fight for us, lackey."
That's the real reason why I was trying to get this into a hut of people.
This is fine. This is fine. So,
Yeah, can we do a beach episode with hella fan service?
No,
Oh my God.
Only if we can go ahead and like do a surf. No, manage to find a way to surf across Crater Lake. And there's got to be sharks involved, and some dude with a mask and a cape.
you don't really have anything to fear about Crater Lake. Like, literally, the most you may find is feces.
I don't know. The last time that we were in Crater Lake, it was pretty. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, but it got better.
To be
No,
fair,
it didn't.
I got better.
courtesy of your assistance, it also rained black. And you also freed the beast of Crater Lake. So, is it really a bad place, or is it just your hand in it all?
Well, no, we freed one of the beasts of Crater Lake. Or are you trying to say
Technically,
that
you freed both beasts of Crater Lake.
One went down, one went up.
Yes.
Woo! We did it.
Well, no, the one that went down wasn't freed. It's still, you know, I don't think Crater Lake connects to anything. I think it's literally just. Like
You are
a well.
speculating to the DM.
It's true. He is speculating to me.
Little did you know the beast was half Tarrasque.
What?
It is the earth.
It's
There's
actually
nothing
the
wrong
North
with
the
me going
entire
ahead
time.
and saying my views.
Yeah, no, not
They
at all.
might be. Yeah, they're totally.
I'm just
going
saying
to be
you're
wrong.
telling him he's wrong, and then saying
you're
things that you don't know for a fact.
The issue isn't having opinions, it's stating your opinions as fact.
Yeah, that's life of a streamer. I do that all the time. But that's okay.
Ah, it's okay. Bub's used to me being wrong.
You're not the only one, my friend.
Not really something you should put your stamp of approval on.
Oh man.
I'm always wrong, so it's okay.
I'll be checking PMs in just a moment, Rangorf. But I need to hear more out of these guys. What else occurred last time we played?
I can explain the ending, but that's about it.
Okay.
If you guys are cool with me jumping to the ending.
By all means.
Have at it.
Cool. So we all fell asleep. I remember. Fucking, I was I listened to Ronald outside of Dougal Bro's hut, in which he blacked out at some point, and I picked him up and brought him back into the bathhouse.
Yeah.
And he had the worms encircling his arm, going in and out of it. And then we all fell asleep, and when we all kind of had a very similar dream / nightmare in Sniper's case, where we all got to talk to Helm, which is Ronald's god, and the person who he's trying to semi-replace. He talked to us all in a one-on-one fashion, and basically gave us one question to ask him, and he would tell us the answer to. He asked, Jacob, what did you ask first?
That's you, Sniper. Again, that's... Yep. Doesn't even remember his own character's name.
It's been 2 weeks.
What did Jacob ask Helm?
Don't you fucking give me that shit. If I said Thelsa, you would hone right in. Don't even hit me with that shit.
You're muted, sir.
No. Don't tell him.
It's funny to let him struggle.
I don't know how I got muted. I don't recall muting myself.
But do you remember what you asked Helm?
Honestly, not offhand. I think I remember asking him what he wanted me to do, but that was it. I don't recall asking anything specific because Jacob wasn't really aware of who Helm is or was.
Ronald asked something that I do not remember because I'm not Ronald. Any, what did you ask?
I didn't ask anything. I just walked forward and took the boy and Helm in one hand and just let Helm talk.
And Will, what did you ask?
I asked, fuck, I just had it. I legitimately, I was preparing for this,
Then, dink.
and then it just, flew out of my mind.
Well, I can say that Cort asked if his friends are actually bad guys. To which I remember Helm basically saying, look, sometimes you gotta break a few eggs to burn an entire village down to the ground.
I don't actually think that's what he said. What do I know? I'm just a storyteller.
I remember what I asked, by the way.
Truth told, you probably have a much better recollection than we do.
Gotta pierce a few children's lungs to
make an omelet.
Save a few old people. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
So I asked something along the lines of, it was basically like, how do we fight things that seem to be completely insurmountable? Basically, what do against gods? What do?
Do you remember
How
the
would
actual
we
answer to the
take
questions?
you out?
I don't think he asked, how do I fight you?
How would we?
How can I
How
murder you?
can we?
How punch in face?
What did he say? what his responses? Because he gave some sort of vague but informative responses to everybody.
I'm gonna fucking be honest with you, it was verbose as fuck, and I remember none of it. My mind was elsewhere.
I
Cort,
was told my true power comes within, and I shouldn't seek outsourcing to try and become stronger.
I said Cort should trust his friends, and to trust in himself at bare bones.
He also said to allow yourself as Cort to help guide their actions. Your inaction,
Right? Yeah,
will
and
allow
not to
them
just
to fuck up.
Yeah, but to actually take the helm and say, "Wait, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. For Rahk,
Stop being stupid. Stop
Rahk's
trying to murder people."
question was how do we overcome or surpass this immediate threat to the survival of everyone here? How do you fight something stronger than yourself? And his response was, you do it together. You can't fight.
That's right, it was
one-on-one.
on some Avengers bullshit.
Yeah, it was like our friendship shall save you.
Not quite, but you're leaning in that direction. And Thelsa,
I'm leaning into it, yeah.
he definitely said you should stop attempting to outsource your power. You can't just swallow the bad guys and get stronger, unfortunately.
I already did that.
It works
Yeah.
for
And I remember, as far as Jacob is concerned, he was basically warned that Ulhime is falling to a darker path and needs to be brought back, to center.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody here can...
Ulhime needs to stop trying to take constant action when Helm was more of like the unseen hand of God.
Could anyone like argue that? I mean, look at some of his actions, man. They've been
Honestly, the one thing
Pretty
that
fighty.
the one thing I think Helm is seriously stepping in about is the fact that Ulhime's about to kill Dougal-Bras. Helm knows this, and I think that's the straw that's breaking the camel's back at this point.
But Joe's dead.
so. He had some things to say.
The
You're
camel
right.
is already dead.
Joe is dead. Correct. Joe is no more. What do
I
you
think
take
the
away
biggest-
from that? I'm mostly curious. Do we see a change in Thelsa? Does Rahk really kind of like swallow that and think like, man, maybe I do have to really kind of get to know these people. Maybe I should be fighting alongside them. Like, what does this look like?
Well, Thelsa's decided to settle down and become the head of the church, at least for now, until something foreseeable happens, or if the church burns down, or something along the lines.
Oh no, left all this next to the church.
So wait. Thelsa suddenly picked up faith.
Well, she's always been faithful. She just isn't faithful of like Saren Ray or one of the holy gods that commands armies of light.
Well,
to
no.
take down-
It doesn't matter which god she's faithful to.
Saren Ray
No,
doesn't.
I'm just shocked that she's got faith whatsoever.
Oh, well, she died in Weejos's temple, and Weejos brought her back and said, "Be my champion," so she can't really deny faith now. It's kind of like pushed upon her.
What Annie's saying is
she's-
Thelsa is basically George Michael.
Like George Michaels.
That name is so familiar, and I can't remember why.
Wait, what? Excuse?
So, are you suggesting that Weejos was like, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. I know not everybody's got a body like me.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, never mind. I remember now.
You're the fucking old man here. What do you... Come on, man.
This is like Rahk. Gotta have faith.
Gotta have faith.
Gotta have faith.
Hey! I might be the old man, but I also had taste.
That's a fucking classic,
wrong
you
with you?
heathen.
George Michael is a legend, goddammit.
He's got some amazing work, man. He's got some good shit.
I never said I had good taste, just taste.
Okay. It's like, yes, dog shit. I will continue. Lovely.
Man, you can hear that in those pedals just going backwards. Freaking...
It's okay. I mean, everybody likes their own stuff, but I knew where you were going when you said George Michael. I'm for it. Yeah, she's got faith, and for good reason. She was more or less resurrected, courtesy of a god. Was it really a god? Do you actually know for a fact that it wasn't some cunning ruse by a different power?
Nope. But she claimed it, so she took it. Unless the cunning ruse can appear
You have
in
a very
the
good
bathhouse as a deity and fill our pools with blood, then I think it was her. And if it wasn't, then I don't think I should mess with whatever it was, and I should just do what it says anyways.
You know, you're not wrong.
I'll just count my blessings for now and, hope it goes the way I want it to, I guess.
I know whatever it was, it's stronger than me.
I ain't gonna try and pose it.
Good.
How about you, Cort? I mean, how's this going to affect Cort moving forward?
That I know you know your name. Unmute yourself. Stop eating sesame seeds. Or pot
Sesame
seeds,
seeds.
whatever you're eating. I don't care. Just talk.
Not pot seeds either, thank you.
Gross.
Cashews.
Last time we had
Um,
cashews on the stream. Still exists one of my favorite pictures.
It's okay.
Those were proper peanuts, thank you very much.
Bub can never eat cashews or candy canes and not think of this group again.
Truth.
It sounds a
don't-
lot dirtier than it is.
Yeah.
It's really
Or
just
the-
stupidity.
It was not great. Not for
Or
me.
I'm
the-
at
trying to
least.
remember the whole cashews moment, but I don't think that I was here for
That-
that.
Because
That
it
was
didn't
before
exist,
you.
they were fucking peanuts.
It was also before Sniper.
It was when Will had a bunch of nuts in his mouth.
Whole jar.
He was holding a jar of peanuts in his mouth, and it was definitely larger than most people's fist. It was impressive, to be honest. Just to give
At least we
everybody
know
the
how we
picture.
At least now we know how he paid for college.
Probably with tuition, is my guess.
Student loans.
Kidneys.
That's definitely it. Yeah. I got you. I'm for it. I understand. I accept. This is okay. All right.
That's why none of the neighborhood kids can walk.
No,
The
this
way
isn't
Quartz
being
would,
sidetracked. This is exactly what a recap does.
You say as you talk over Austin trying to actually talk about
Cort would probably learn to stop questioning his team. That being the biggest thing. And to have a little bit more trust in them.
Okay.
And probably to take a bit more initiative in his own choices.
Okay.
That would be the biggest takeaway that he would have.
I mean, you've been pitted in a very particular situation. As far as the fact that you are a very young and fairly normal fighter,
Yeah.
you are allied with a lot of non-humans that
We were friends with the giant spider boy.
have history of blood on their hands.
Oh,
I
lots
don't
of
think
it.
there's any humans in the group aside from Cort.
Nope, just me. Well, Thelsa.
No,
Cort,
Thelsa's
you're
definitely not human.
Was
half elf.
the
I
half
was about, yeah, you were half elf. That's what it was.
So I was half human, and now I'm like a quarter human.
Yeah, that's kind of right in its own
Yeah.
little weird
But
way.
Cort's kind of the, funnily enough, the odd one out, being the most normal person in the group.
Yeah.
However, these people haven't ran away from you while fighting, and they've taken me in at least.
Do you think they fear Cort at all?
I don't think they've seen me enough in combat to fear me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the only time we've seen combat with Cort was like the church.
What's stopping you guys from getting into combat?
change, you filthy animal.
Well, actually, Rahk would have seen me in the vampire fights, but Rahk is equally as impressive in his strength feats, to where he would not need to fear me.
Yeah, and as far as what's keeping us from getting into direct combat and all that, I would say failure.
Mostly political advances and more roleplay experiences currently.
Because D&D isn't all throwing your weapon at things, and we've done enough of that so far that we need to pick up the
We're
slack.
gonna
and
start doing that on
everything
episode
else.
75.
Oh, don't
after
get me
we,
wrong. I would love to go ahead and throw my weapon around a little bit more often, but well, I don't have one.
Well,
The only,
Like I said, I'm waiting
I
for
look
that.
literally at
because
this
you
point.
threw your last one.
No, it's because it was, it's because I was in lockup.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah, and you didn't
stripped
get
of
your shit
everything that I owned, and it was put away, and it was stolen during the raids.
Yes.
I am basically destitute and running off secondhand goods that, our wizard used to carry.
But you got a stash on your bone.
Not a
poke.
wizard, you fuck.
Destitute
Oh, sorcerer.
and has
Destitute
nothing to his
and on a-
name aside from the fact that he's riding a nightmare,
Pony.
literally a pony made of nothing but bones and malice.
hey,
He
that's me.
freehand slaps children into the afterlife, and he open hand punches, literally just close punches a guard in the chest and freezes his heart and lungs. There's nothing to worry about at all.
I'm not saying he's powerless, but he is less than optimal at the moment. He is not,
I'm sorry your killing is inefficient.
You should do better.
Look, I'm okay with Sniper being efficient because we have to fight big things eventually.
You know what? I'm okay with his killing up to this point to a degree. I would say it's more efficient. He killed the guard. There was no blood. He killed the boy. He didn't pop like a water balloon. Can you imagine if Rahk had done that? It would have been just pancake. And smaller pancake.
I think it's
blood
best if you
pancake.
don't imagine.
Would have
how
been
Thelsa
duck
would have
noise.
done
It would have been duck noise, yes. So, yeah. You guys, this is one of the last questions I want to pose to you here. Why now? Why is a deity that calls himself Helm speaking to you now?
Because Ronald's fucking shit up.
Helm was supposed to have been dead.
Up that bad.
He wants he wants Ronald to stop fucking up. And because Ronald's been fucking up so much, it woken him back from his non-existence.
Yeah? Is that what you know?
That's
or is that what you're guessing?
That's my game theory.
Okay. Do we have any other working theories?
I have the real answer. If anyone wants that.
Did I tell you the real answer? I don't remember.
You absolutely did.
Fuck,
But not with words.
Oh.
Did he do it in
The real answer is you got too fucking distracted doing other shit, and you want us to get back on the story.
Actually, that's incorrect as well.
Bullshit.
No, it's completely incorrect. Because honestly, inside of this universe, Helm doesn't even exist. Like in this particular time, in the canon of the tale, Helm doesn't exist. There's a different.
Exactly. So we can use as a vessel to get us back on track.
Okay, that's fair. Do we have any working ideas from Sniper?
I would say that this is probably like the last vestiges of Helm, and again, it has everything to do with how Ulhime's been comporting himself and kind of bastardizing what Helm stood for, and considering everything else that he's been doing, I think we're just getting on the verge of a corruption.
Okay.
He also found the little boy. Found Griffith's kid in the void, holding a dagger, kind of alone, kind of scared, kind of almost dead.
We knew that Griffith's son, Jimothy, was there.
Yeah, but Helm is the one who found him.
Annie.
He was busy.
You recently posed that question to me, and I didn't answer it. Did you want to say that answer aloud, or did you want to venture to change that guess?
I don't even remember what the question was.
Why Helm? Why now?
Oh. I don't know. I honestly don't know. He could have come earlier when he saw that Ulhime was going off the track and starting to, degrade and not get better. So I don't really have any reason for him to come now unless he is seeing all of us start to go downhill enough that we're going beyond what his power can hold. If we keep going the direction we're going, Helm's not going to be able to help us or save us or guard us anymore. And that's the only reason I could see, because he could have come earlier.
Okay.
But
I figured Jacob's just getting close to an orphanage, and Helm's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Jesus Christ. No.
500 yards, you've read the restraining order.
Jesus Christ. No. Actually, so far, all guesses are wrong, even the ones that I've just received, which is kind of surprising. Because I thought that I baited it a little bit more, so you guys would have seen it, but that's okay. That's okay. It'll come to fruition soon enough. But I think that's most of the recap, at least as much as we need. And today, as most of you guys can see, we don't have Ronald with us. No Ulhime. Ulhime has, by and large, lost most of the track of his destination, of where he's going and how he's getting there. And while I am mostly unawares as to where I'd like to take today's session, I want to open the floor up entirely to you guys. I want to give you that opportunity to run with it and see how far you'd like to take it. If you want to speculate as to your next moves, if you want to talk about the directions and destinations of your character, I'm here. I'm here for it. You got me for the next 3.5 hours, so we're 2.5 hours, yeah.
Talk more mechanics tonight than anything.
Not necessarily. I mean, we could jump right into story if that's what you guys want to do. If you have goals that you think that your characters would get to. But it was left off with some pretty big events happening in regards to Ulhime. And it tied all of you. Some of you were actually aware of each other inside of this dream, if I recall.
That was me and a Thelsa.
I was aware of everyone, and I was like, "Hey, there they all are." Even
I was aware
that
of
big man.
shadows. That was pretty much it. My perception wasn't high enough to see anything more than shadows.
Could you have guessed by chance what or whom that would have been?
Well, not really, because again, you got to remember that in this universe, Helm doesn't exist, and it's not like Jacob would remember what happened in Occipitus. He doesn't recall really the events leading up to Celestia, because again, Helm no longer existed at that point. I don't know if. Oh, actually, no. I think literally nobody else but Ulhime and Jacob were there at this point.
Okay.
I don't even think Thelsa was there for the beginning of it. So he can't really surmise who the others were that he spoke to, because he again has no idea who he was speaking to begin with. All he knew was that it was another worldly power that was mentioning Ulhime and the path he was taking. And of course, Jacob's like, yeah, he's been getting pretty fucked up lately. His arm's doing this weird thing.
Okay. All right. So then, night has come to pass. Each of you have experienced these dreams, despite your differences in pacing, despite your distances between each of you. And some of you are aware, some of you can probably start tying these things together. Even if Sniper doesn't necessarily believe that Jacob would be aware, I think that he could probably put it together. Jacob's intelligent. And why would a god calling himself Helm be talking to other people that knows Ulhime? Unless it's to someone that also knows who Ulhime is. Who else does Ulhime talk to inside of the city? Aside from the mayor. Aside from the mayor.
No one.
From
accusing the mayor of stabbing him.
If we're all aware of what was said to everyone else, that's different.
Oh, yeah. It would have just been happening like multiple conversations. You wouldn't have heard the question that everybody posed, but you would have at least heard the answers happening. It just would have been like your question was being answered face forward and to the front, but you heard these other conversations going off behind.
You were on the phone with him. You only heard one side of the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if he heard, you must learn to go ahead and have more belief in yourself, or you must believe more in your friends. That is the only way that you can see. He wouldn't have immediately assumed that it was his party members. But if he was hearing both ends of the conversation, then yeah. Regardless, he's more focused on himself and self-absorbed anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. All right. So then, who would like to start their morning? And tell me what it looks like.
I know at the very early morning, Cort would probably still be trying to deal with the weakness and still probably exercising in the morning, healing up a bit, trying to get back into proper shape. Nothing specific really on the agenda for me.
Okay. Would you try to say to anybody anything about this dream that you may have had? A lot of your dreams typically up to this point have been nightmares. Seeing a city on fire, knowing your people screaming.
Has Ronald woken up?
We'll say for all intents and purposes, he has. In fact, he's not there.
Okay. I think that would leave just me at the bathhouse, honestly. So even if I wanted to tell someone, the only person I would be able to tell would be Malgrim or Dougalbro. And I don't think they exactly want to hear the concerns of my life.
Well, you were aware, right? Like, you were aware of everybody else that was there, so... Rahk's been staying here. You could speak to Rahk. You could also find Thelsa, which she's not exactly made herself quiet.
Just chilling.
Well, I was trying to ask where Thelsa was, but the most I heard was that she left to the Demon Scar. That was the last I heard, and that was like 3 days ago from Ronald.
Okay.
I think, Cort might... Yeah, I guess he'd probably bring it up to Rahk.
What does Rock's morning look like?
Best part of waking up is Folgers in his cup.
Unfortunately, there's no Folgers. Not this time.
Motherfucker.
It's folders here.
Goddamn Maxwell House.
Every time.
It's the worst. Rahk is slow to rise, but not entirely grumpy, just sort of groggy.
Okay. Groggy. All right.
Cort would probably be very chipper by the time you wake up, because I'm assuming you're not going to wake up at the crack of dawn.
Likely not.
Yeah. Cort's usually the one to kind of rise around sunrise.
It's sort of
to get
led into your world and your training. Your master was early to rise. He was very much a stickler for rules and for things of that sort. So he wanted to kind of impart that upon you.
Yeah. Waking up, getting the morning routine already set and done, would already be doing that. So by the time you'd come down, out of the room, Cort would probably already be wide awake, and he'd probably just greet you at first, because I'm assuming that you look like just tired.
In so much as all half-orcs look tired.
Just kind of angry and neutral.
Well, there's that, like, natural frown from the tusks. So it's that, but, like, a little deeper, but you can almost not tell. Sort of.
What sells it is the eyes. The eyes are quite tightly.
The dead.
Yeah, pursed.
Yes.
Good morning, Rahk.
It's morning.
Yeah, it is. Did you happen to see Ulhime leave last night? I brought him in last night when he blacked out, but I haven't really been able to find him.
The last thing I saw last night was my pillow.
Oh. Well, did you sleep well at least?
I don't even know that I slept.
Okay, I remember giving you a dream. I don't remember drugging you.
I'm just thinking, like, Rahk is sounding like that angry black man in prison. Just like, what do you want?
It's like, shut up and leave me alone already. Hey, Squidward, how'd you sleep?
You think you've seen my real personality before. This is actually me. Just
this is the realest
100%.
facet of your character.
With a bit more of a speech impediment.
Oh, well, it seems like you slept well. I kind of had this weird dream, but
all dreams are weird. I don't know what you mean.
He's a bit more curt than normal. But you definitely know that he was in your dream.
I thought I had a dream with a god, and everyone was there, kind of. We weren't, like, together. We just kind of were in the same place, I think.
Dream of the god. I don't remember much, but I do remember something like that.
I think he said his name was Helm, but I think that's the one that Ulhime says he is, right?
Through your partly cracked glare, when he says Helm, it sort of triggers. You remember that name very clearly, and that's at least startling, to say the least.
So you spoke with Helm too?
Oh, yeah, I asked him a question, but he more or less spoke at us, I think.
That's more or less what I remember too.
Well, did you get to hear what he was talking to the other people about? Because I could kind of hear it, but it seemed like he was just talking to himself.
I only heard his words for myself, and frankly, I didn't even see any other people, just shapes,
Oh,
silhouettes, if you will.
I could kind of make out it was all of us. So it was you, Ulhime, and and he's gonna kind of stop for a second. Ulhime wasn't there. Thelsa and Jakob were, but wouldn't Ulhime have been good to talk to?
I'm sure there was a reason for it.
Yeah. Do you remember what he said? I remember him. I remember asking him a question, and I remember that answer, but I think he said something about Ulhime.
I can't say I remember every word he spoke, but I think I got the gist of it. Seems not to be exactly happy with the way things are going, and it's foreboding, if nothing else.
When I brought Ulhime in yesterday, he had these worms on that new arm that he had.
What kind of worms?
They look kind of gnarly. They kind of like maggots, but they were going in and out of that arm. But they only seemed to be attracted to the arm. They weren't really spreading to anything else.
Well, if I wanted breakfast before, I certainly don't now.
Well, we could walk to the tavern, maybe.
No, thank you. I believe I'll pass on that.
Well, I don't really have much to do, so I'll probably either just kind of stay here or walk around town. So if you need me, feel free to ask.
I'm sure I'll find something to get into.
And Cort's probably going to walk around and continue making sure the bathhouse actually stays tidy.
I'm waiting on the moment when Cort and Rahk are found in combat.
Where we're just fucking bloodthirsty.
And
slapping.
they just like look at each other and they're like, "We're fucking basher bros." Like, I'm waiting on it. They haven't had that crowning moment yet, but when it happens, it's gonna be like their eyes are gonna meet and there's just gonna be passion for blood. And they're like, I know why we're together now.
It's gonna be when we're fighting one just giant asshole, and I'm gonna cut off his left arm. Will's gonna cut off the right arm. We're just gonna be like, yeah! And we're just gonna fucking stab him in the chest.
Why do I feel like
And we high five with the
God.
dismembered arms.
I feel like you guys would do that. You would cut off the arms, drop your weapon, pick up the arms, be like, "Quit hitting yourself! Quit hitting yourself!" Just smacking him over and over again.
Can you
We're definitely the type to like. We're definitely the type to just like look at each other and go back to back, back to back.
Yeah, back to back.
Yep.
Fucking 2-gun style.
Suddenly hot, sweaty barbarian sex. Things I was not prepared for.
Y'all some horny motherfuckers, I swear to God.
I'm telling you, man.
No, they're just.
We're on our
desperate to
mains
get
right now.
Cort
You
with
guys
somebody.
need to
That's
take
what
that
it
over
is.
to your ults.
Yeah, clearly. Clearly. Between the other two of you, Thelsa and Jakob, who would like to go next?
Thelsa's in town. It makes sense.
All right.
Probably wouldn't stray far from the church. I had this weird dream, and I figured that if the others shared it, like I saw them, they'd come to me instead of me having to go talk to them about it, since it's not even my god, and, well, frankly, I'm pretty sure they all hate me anyways. So, I'd just stick around the church, and likely do a bit more cleanup, and more study, because despite not sticking to the path of knowledge or trying to seek it out, the idea and all of this history is starting to encapsulate me, and I'm going to try and read in more into it further and further until I can, I don't know, figure out as much as I can about Weejas and her past and everything.
Okay, so what I'm gathering, you're going to be spending as much time in study as possible. Is there anything that you
pretty
would be
much.
breaking from that moment for? Would you try to look elsewhere or see to any allies that you may have additionally? What are you thinking?
If I were to come across anyone that was of the church and wasn't here, like if I were to find, I don't know, names or scripture of people that I might know in town, I'd probably go visit just to talk to them about returning to the church, but I don't know if they kept logs on who was there. So it all depends on what I find there. I wouldn't leave apart from, I don't know, basic needs like food, and then I'd come back just to keep going, because there's not a lot of books, but enough to keep me tied over for a couple days.
Sure. And what is the disposition of Thelsa following the talk with Helm?
Well, she knows she can't take over the demon scar, so if there's anything she wants to do with that part of her life, it's gonna have to wait a little while. Wait until Thelsa's stronger. Because right now in her mind she's thinking, like he said, this thing inside of her isn't gonna make her stronger. She should become stronger on her own. And then she's gonna try and control it. She shouldn't seek it to be stronger, she should just become stronger and then deal with it afterwards.
Sure.
That's how she's going to take what he said to mind.
Okay. That sounds good. All right, then we're going to affront this over to Jakob. Jacob. Jacob. You find yourself in the morning being awakened by a one-armed man. He is readying the horses. Seeing as to how you normally aren't much of a late sleeper, he gives you the opportunity. You've kind of been through the mess of it. And it sounds like you've got quite the tale. So he's just kind of letting you sleep in. But jostling the horses will wake you. You hear him as he sees you begin to startle too. Good morning! Well, nearly afternoon.
Is it really so late already?
Nearly lunch, I believe.
Oh, forgive me for that, Marion. I didn't intend to sleep in or sleep so heavy.
It's fine. I believe that you needed it. I think you might be, or may have come down with something under the weather of sorts.
If the dreams I had last night were any indication, it was certainly something. Maybe a bit of old cheese or stale bread didn't agree with me.
I've never seen someone react so violently over old or spoiled food. You moved as if you had seen a Holy Spirit yourself. Even in your rest, your body shook. I must admit, I was afraid. I am not quite the man that I once was, and, well, I am unarmed.
Gonna skip the opportunity for a joke there.
It's okay, you can laugh. I did that on purpose.
Haha. It was an unusual dream, though. Unusually vivid, actually.
You spoke a name, or maybe a thing? I've only heard of it spoken of by corsairs. It said Helm. Multiple times.
That's definitely what this entity called itself. And he'll sit up, rock to his feet, and stretch his back, grab his water skin to give his mouth a rinse. It was the oddest thing. I found myself in darkness. And this... Well, I don't want to go ahead and call it an entity. It was definitely a force. It was something beyond the keth of men. It asked me about my, it asked me to, it had me pose questions and gave me answers, well, to concerns I've been having as of late. But then it spoke of my colleague. And it has me concerned.
He points to himself with his singular arm. It spoke of me?
No. The dwarf I spoke of, Ulhime.
Ah, yes, you did say his name as well.
It alluded to dangers to him. Hopefully nothing all too soon. It's not as if I can make it to Cauldron any sooner. And looking around, have you ever been on this road before?
I've traveled many roads before, although I've never been to Cauldron. I must say I do believe we're close. Less than a week's time out, I would presume. Maybe 4 or 5 days.
Stay here a moment. And he'll cast Fly on himself to try and go straight up. I want to try and get an idea as to how the way looks ahead and see if there's any shortcuts, any ways to cut down on time.
Sure. So, under normal circumstances, I would ask you to roll a D1000.
Hmm?
Rangorf.
Oh, you bastards!
Rangorf wanted to hit you with wild magic, but Karami came in with the save, countering any wild magic on you, at least for the first cast.
Thank you, Karami.
But then it was doubled up, as Christy said that the first successful spell cast by the party is wild magic. So give me a D1000, unless I misread that, which I don't think I did.
Hey, well, that's 3 down at least.
That's all of them.
Hey.
Yes, thank God. Yeah, it's all.
Oh, she wanted to counter it? Okay, all right.
Wait, what if you counter though? Does that mean it still goes through?
Let me look. Oh, never. I missed it. So yeah, you're good. Your spell is gonna be fine.
Oh,
You're
well, now
good.
I'm curious as to what 691 would have been.
Well, if you'd like for me to read it, I'll just make it happen.
Yeah, if he reads it, it happens. It's
No,
curiosity
I'm
kill
good. I'm good.
Jared.
Are you sure? You sure you don't want this?
Has wild magic ever worked out well? Okay, I tell you what. We'll go ahead and... Okay, chat. Even or odd?
This can only go so bad.
All right. Aurora said even.
Even's winning.
Hey.
All right. We're doing it.
Okay.
Read it out.
Knees. The caster has their knees reversed to bend the other way. This is a permanent occurrence. Your armor will require modification.
You just inverted your fucking knees, dude.
As if you didn't look demonic enough already.
How do you run like that?
Interestingly enough, it does grant you a bonus. You are given an additional +10 to your land speed.
Makes it fast?
Yo, can I have my knees reversed, please?
I'm good with my knees the way they are. Thanks.
Don't invert my knees so I can run faster. I'm Gucci.
Unfortunately, it's a permanent effect.
We can change it if you want.
Oh yeah, they could just take your legs off and give you new legs again.
Yeah, we'll just cut them off.
Cut you off at the navel and give you a whole
The
bottom
lucky
person.
thing is, right now, it really doesn't matter. I still have the mask on. I take the mask off and I look like some eldritch horror. With giant crab claw arms and little vestigial
God, I wish you
hands
were an
on the
alchemist so
fronts.
you could take more things to add to your body.
reversed legs, horns, and red skin. No, dude, honestly, I am the most fucked up Tifa. If I am out of this mask, I am basically going to look to the nearest guardsman and be like, kill me.
You are basically walking nightmare fuel. Yeah.
You know,
There are demons that look less demonic than you. You know, just saying. But, welcome. Welcome to your backwards knees. Straight
What
up,
a fucking sentence.
straight up
Harry
looking
has
like
no
the
idea.
the bugs from District 9 over here.
So wait, do you just go to cast a spell and you're just like, all right, watch, I shall...
You know, I go to cast a spell and it's like crit, crit.
You just punch over really quick and you
Just
And
liking,
I just cast it again.
liking the noise.
I'm not even phased by it at this point. It's just like, oh man, something else fucked up.
I just liken the noise to follow, like, it's oh my god,
It's just-
what is it, from Dead Space, you know the wall-mounted thing that spits out the eggs, like, ah! Like, you just hear that, he fucking crumples to the ground, he's like, it's actually not that bad, alright.
Yeah, I can work with this.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
faster.
he's like, he does a couple squats and he's like, because literally, there.
Are his feet
I still
facing
I love
same
the
way
idea of
that-
him trying
Yes,
to cast a
his
spell.
feet
And
are
Just his
starts
facing
knees
the
that
same
turn
way. It's
around?
just his knees.
yeah,
have
just
been
his
turned
knees.
around.
Just they're just inverted now. Just
I imagine that he can stand up straight and his legs they look just fine. But then when he
Yeah.
goes to start running, you're just like, what the fuck are you, dude?
He's like that.
Don't
He's
do
like
that.
that kid at the end of Contact.
Just don't run. In fact, let me carry you wherever we go.
just stop moving altogether.
Perfect. Sure, you cast fly.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus
and
Christ,
I'd like
it's
to
like
go
Dapper
ahead
said,
and go as high
Dapper,
as possible to see if I can't find shortcuts on the path, ways to cut through. Because at this point, I'm feeling the urgency to shave off some time.
Sure.
I like Dapper's idea of you trying to intimidate someone.
Yeah, 'cause
and
I
just
think
get real
we
close
were-
to him and rip the mask off.
Yeah, I think last you said we were like 4 or 5 days out.
Yeah, you know that you're on the fastest path. It is a primary road. You do still have opportunity of getting ambushed. Admittedly, you're going to see less and less people ambushing from the direction of Cauldron, just because, well, it's not a healthy place to live. They've heard about attacks and fires, and people have been leaving for a long time now. Also, the government is freely prepared to hang people that are just about occupying the space and not paying their taxes and hurting those that are around. So, yeah, if you are going to get ambushed at any point, it would have already happened, or within the next day or so. But as far as you're aware, it looks fine. Everything looks okay, and you're on the fastest path. Not much in the way of shaving off additional time unless you could just beeline there. And I'm afraid Boney's not going to make the flight.
Well, no, I wouldn't be able to teleport anyway. But no, seeing as the way ahead is fairly straightforward, and it's not like there's any deviations or massive roundabouts that would, add more time to the travel. He's just going to lower back down and look to Marion. I think this is... I don't know if it's just my subconscious or the universe reaching out to me, or if this helm is, in fact, some deity of the pantheon, but I feel some urgency should be put in our travels. I think we'll go ahead and ride through the day with no breaks. Will
Well,
that be all right with you?
if we're going to be pushing, then mayhaps we consider additional mounting procedures. I don't see myself staying on as well with a single hand.
Are you asking me to tie you to the saddle?
Well, the last I rode hard, I was thrown from my saddle, yes.
I wonder if I have glue.
It's got a stick of Elmer's hanging out in your backpack.
No, the spell.
Just use grease; it works better.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. No, thank you. No. Well, seeing as he's asking and seeing the wisdom of it, yeah, he'll see about going ahead and adding some leather lashes from saddle horn to the comb of the back and around to the other side to the saddle horn. Not quite like just tying him down like a child or anything like that, but definitely giving him a seatbelt of sorts.
Sure. He's grateful. He'll notice that it keeps him on a bit more. He's still very careful about what he holds on to. The last thing he needs is to be thrown from the saddle, and his legs remain, yet his body's just fucking bouncing away like a Muppet all the way back to
Yeah,
Caldron.
I mean, it's going to have a quick, it's not going to be super hard knotted. It's going to be knotted for a quick pull release, but nothing too over bad.
All right. So then you ride and you push hard.
Yeah, he's going to push hard.
Sounds good.
And he's going to notice how awkward it is, having his knees hitting the spaces between rib and rear pelvis of the horse. It's just like, oh, this isn't going to work out on a real steed at all.
Completely forgot about that. Yeah. You'll notice that you're just like riding very stiff-legged all the way there. In order to ride normally. That's glorious. Perfect. Okay. So then we see this back to Rahk and to Cort. You know how long you have before Dugobras is supposed to meet his end? You, Cort, are at least aware of what will occur or what can occur if he is not taken care of. I'm going to pass this over to you. And I'm going to let you sort of take narrative for a short amount of time.
Oh boy.
So it's yours.
I still don't really have any main goal that I still even want to accomplish. I don't even know where to start, to be completely frank with you.
Well, think about it. Think about what you may end up trying to do. Spend a lot of time of you just walking around.
Yeah, but that's really all he has to do. He doesn't really need much else. Like, he has gear that he needs.
Well, let's kind of tackle that for a second. We're going to unpack it. Your days have been weird, to say the least. You're having these visions of a god that is warning you that Ulhime is on a bad path.
Correct.
You're being threatened, or at least your allies are being threatened in the middle of the street by someone that represents what you think is known as the Last Laugh. This rogue industry inside of the town.
Kind of down to fight people. However, the people that he wants to kill aren't here. Unless he wants to kill Rahk, but Rahk's fairly new, and I don't think he wants to kill Rahk.
You know, with these hands?
Because, when he mentioned Jakob and Ulhime, so I don't think he wants those hands. Thelsa, I don't think Cort 1 knows where she is, nor would really tell her, because she probably already knows that people are out to get her. Since the last time I talked to Thelsa was when I said the guards were looking for you.
Did you go to see Mistress Sasha when Klaus made that promise to her?
I did.
And you saw the dragon rise above the city, pouring flames, but you haven't really heard much from them.
No. But I knew that was happening because Thelsa said that she wanted to talk to Sasha for it.
Okay.
So I assumed that was a pact that Innie made with her. But I have not talked to her since. But I directed Rahk towards the Shining Tome.
Okay. You know that Rahk is probably going to the Shining Tome. You are also aware that at some point we saw Thelsa head to the Shining Tome.
I thought Rahk had already gone to the Shining Tome. Or have you not gone there yet?
He hasn't been able to go there yet.
Then I would have probably tried getting him to go there with me then, or something like that, because he wanted to see it, or rather he wanted to go to it, so I believe Cort would probably have waited for him to want to go to it.
Okay. So will you actually be seeking him out then?
Yeah, Cort might find Rahk and then offer him to a trip to the Shining Tome.
Okay. Then Rahk, how easy are you to find? Admittedly, there's only like 7 half-orcs in the town now.
So, like when you stand up in the middle of a movie theater?
And everyone fucking knows it's you.
You're like 4.5 feet taller than everyone else around you. Yeah, that's roughly as easy as it is to find me.
Walk outside, look in the crowd, and just kind of see someone who's just taller.
So you're easy to find. Whereabout are you?
Probably somewhere in the lower ring, just kind of making rounds, seeing people acting all Fonz-ish.
All right, you hitting him with a snap. I dig it.
He's kind of. Me and him have just been kind of doing the same thing around town, just kind of walking the beat,
Sure.
feeling the pulse of the street.
You know where he's been staying, at least when he's been walking around during the day. It's likely that you'll find him there, and it's not going to take you very long. You'll locate him. What do you say to him?
Hey, Rahk, do you happen to be doing anything in particular?
Not at the moment.
Oh, well, would you want to try going to the Shining Tome that I was telling you about before? I kind of want to go over there to ask Sasha something, and you might want to meet her anyways.
That sounds like a plan. Lead the way.
Yeah, Cort would lead the way to the Shining Tome, assuming we get there and a knock on the door.
What do you hear? What does it sound like?
Bongos.
You hear danger bongos. Okay.
Mostly danger bongos.
All right. Is it faint?
I
Is it
imagine
loud?
it just quiet, kind. You know, like when you're outside of a club.
Okay.
And you just kind of hear it just in the background. It's kind of like that.
So there's a faint thrumming, and this tapping that seems to emanate from the door. Cort isn't fazed by this. And most places seem to have what you would guess is a bard of sorts to encourage the locals. But he doesn't seem fazed. He raps at the door a few times. Nobody seems to answer. Do you wait?
Yeah, I'd wait a bit. If no one comes after a little bit, knock a little bit louder.
You knock again. Before you're met. The door swings wide. Who stands before you?
Probably Charlie.
What does Charlie look like?
Every time I imagine Charlie, you know the wizard from the Zelda CDI? The little short guy in the red robes and the kind of flat head.
Vaguely.
Really old wizard guy.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but no hair and bald.
No hair and bald. Well, he is
Well-
actually... He has hair. He is
Does
not
he?
bald. Yes, he does.
He does.
He's sort of shaped like Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
Almost identically. But he dresses rather dapper. And he speaks quite lewdly.
He's 100%. He, like, in physical appearance, he looks like Jack Black in the new Jumanji movies. Like, almost to a
you know what
T.
I was thinking he looked more like the guy from Game of Thrones, Varys.
Okay, I can see
Varys.
where you get that, but he's definitely not Lord Varys.
I thought he looked kind of like that.
Door swings
but-
wide, and there he stands, in his dapper self, just the top button of his vest unbuttoned. Music rings throughout the area, and he hits you with it. Hello and welcome to the Shining Dome. My name is Cort. Cort! Well, boy. Welcome in. What can I do for you?
Well, I came to ask Mr. Sasha a question, and I also brought our new friend in town.
Mm.
Went
It's
on over to
always
Big-
Sasha. You're no fun. You don't
Well-
visit, you don't call a ride. Well, don't you come around anymore?
He might be able to have fun with you.
I is trained to you, Rahk. And for a moment, there is this almost grimace upon his face, and then he sizes you up and down, and he bites his lower lip. Yeah. Yeah, you are thick. Hello, my name is Charlie. Charlie Miles, what's yours?
My name is Rahk Sargumalis, Crusher of Bones.
Say it slower.
Rahk Sargumalis, Crusher of Bones.
That is a mouthful. I'd like to see more. Come inside, Rockford Marlies. And Cort, come in, boy. As he moves, allowing you in, he's got this sort of swivel in his hips, and he never quite shakes it away. He's just moving to the rhythm of the music.
Rahk likes chicken tamales.
I mean, I don't blame him. I also like chicken tamales.
That's not my name. That's
They call him Stacy. That's not right either. So you're here for Sasha, but Rahk, Thark, Snarf, 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 are you here for Sasha as well?
Push the button. Yeah, come on.
I actually don't know why I'm here.
I told him that this would be a fun place to kind of meet people.
He places a hand on your arm, very dainty. You know, destiny works oddly like that. Find yourself in the most precarious of situations. But fate has a way of making things happen. And now you found yourself inside of the Shining Tome. Home to Charlie Miles and Mistress Sasha. She's been busy.
Excuse my ignorance. What exactly is it that you do around here?
Consider it excused. Well, I am not much of the proprietor here. I am a knowledge seeker, and I dance a lot. On top of dancing, I have been known to appraise a few things from time to time. I'm a bit of the face for this front, because the mistress, the actual proprietor of the building, finds herself almost criminally indisposed.
Understood. And these things...
Oddities, conundrums of sorts, curiosities. We've acquired them from all across the world.
Stay a
I
while
see.
and listen.
So do I.
Charlie, I came to ask Mr. Sasha a question, but maybe you might know.
I know
Do you
anything,
know-
boy. Tell me, what can I help you with?
Do you know anything about what happened to Klaus since we last came here?
His eyes kind of wander a bit, and he brushes his hair to the side. You can see he's obviously very uncomfortable.
He hasn't come back yet, and when I heard before that he came back, it always seemed faster than this.
Well, it's because he's died.
Well, but isn't he supposed to come back?
No, you're not supposed to come back when you're dead. You stay dead for a reason.
But he came back before.
He was a different sort, from my understanding. Mr. Sasha explained to me that he was not as you or I. He operated under different rules, and... well, he lived his best life, but unfortunately his last.
Oh,
Oh, you seem so shaken by this. Have you not experienced death much?
he's just gonna kind of stay quiet for a second and... No, I have.
Well, then you know that you must live life to the fullest. Do things that you may be ashamed of. Dance as if no one is watching. Place things in and around your mouth as if you couldn't have a care in the world. You may learn a thing or two.
So, about these items.
Go on, ask. if you are here to procure a thing or two, then I might be able to help.
What exactly is the most interesting thing you have in here?
That is a bold question. Interesting. The most interesting thing that we have here. If I told you it was a goblin, would you believe me? He's desperately gripping a rooster, and he hasn't let it go, not once.
It's the cock goblin, if you've heard of it.
Indeed, the cock goblin.
I think you mean the rock goblin.
Do you know the cock goblin?
No, but I intend to.
Well... If we are declaring things so intimately so, Charlie Miles wishes to know you as well. Is it worth
Perhaps.
Do you come to barter information? Perhaps you have coin, magical wares. Maybe you look good in leathers.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, actually, speaking of things, Cort's gonna kind of
Yes.
rummage through it.
Things.
Oh, God. Cort's gonna kind of rummage through his bag, and he's gonna pull out the antique music box that we got. And he's gonna kind of pull it up and say, we found this before while we were exploring, and we haven't really found any use for it.
His eyes remotely divert for just a moment to the music box, then back to Rahk, but then they train, almost double take. And then he snaps. The moment that he snaps, it cuts the music immediately. And now you're seeing a different side of Charlie, one that you haven't really had much of an opportunity to. And this lewdness and this flirty nature, the charisma that he was oozing, changes. It trains differently so. Well, what do we have here? May I?
Cort would hand it over.
Okay. He very gingerly takes this from your hands, placing it on the table. When he does so, he uses his elbow to kind of roll out what looks to be some kind of leathered mat. And as he does so, on the left and right side, there are tools, what looks to be brushes, maybe some sort of a glass magnified spot, various other tools. Small picks and bevels seem to align the outside of this. And it seems to roll carefully. The leather has been well broken in. Why am I hearing my echo? There we go, thank you. And he places this music box on the center of the table. He bats at his fingers the fingers to his lips a few times. Where did you acquire this? He's still getting an echo.
Okay, I'm gonna get my headphones on. Wherever the hell they are. We got that out of character. We got that when we were in Occipitous, right?
Yes?
Or was that... Yeah? I believe it was.
Stay a while and listen.
Well,
where did you find this particular thing? Do you recall?
It was in the library, wasn't it? And inside of the church that we blew up as we walked away from it. Or not blew up, but the one that Will's alignment shifted, and then it caused the whole church to fall. Or
you're speaking of the Cathedral of Feathers.
Yes.
Yes, you did find it in the Cathedral of Feathers.
Okay.
This is of a different place. One that is most interesting. I must know, how did you come about it?
Well, we were walking around through, I think they called it Occipitous, and there was this library room where we found a few things. I also found a portrait and some string. And we also found a giant demon statue that Ulhime's trying to sell.
Where are you trying to fence this, statue that you speak of?
Ulhime, I think, made a deal with Mr. Mavu.
Well, I can say I understand, but I wish that you had perchance come to see us first.
Ulhime kind of went to them first because I think he wanted to do it before the vampires.
Oh, you mean the attack in town? That was quite messy. Rather.
Was. Miss Sasha sent someone to help, right?
As you say, Mr. Sasha sent someone to help, that's when you hear and you feel this cocoon. It almost echoes out from the depth of the building. If there was a basement, you may guess that it's there, but this feels deeper. You feel it in your feet, both of you. He acts as if it hadn't quite happened, pretending as if there was no feeling, no welling of bass in the basement. Go on, tell me more about this place. I wish to know as much as I can.
It was a cathedral, and like the floors were covered in flesh and boils, and it was kind of scary. But the church was really nice. There were a lot of books in there.
Where?
It
What
was
place?
somewhere called Occipitous.
But where is that?
Well, I don't know where exactly, but we stepped through a portal. It was in the Ouija's church, but I haven't been there since, and I don't know if that's still there. I think Klaus said he used to own it or something, but...
Oh, you are playing a much larger game. You have found things that they're not of this time or of this place. He looks to you, Rahk. A place between places. Have you been to the Abyss?
I don't think so.
Can't say that I have.
Well, what you see before you, is in fact a music box, or it will need some slight repair, but this was made by someone long since dead. Sasha has some of the make of the creator himself. This is valuable, very rare. It took talent, skill, and time to craft this piece. And you walk around with it so carefreely.
Well, it's kind of been in my bag. I've made sure not to get it broken.
What are you asking for this? What's your asking price?
What do you think it's worth?
A fair amount. But in its cracked condition. And he takes this small bit of what looks to become almost like fashionable clay, and he sprinkles something over the top of it and begins bending it into what looks to be like a twist or a turnkey for a music box. Takes a few of the tools and he rounds it out so it grips a bit better. And then he grabs what looks to be a blue feather and he touches into this clay, and it immediately turns to this metallic. Well, it's wrought metallic. It doesn't look very good. Seems effective. And he starts to turn the box. And you hear this crank, and then a split, and then a crack. It will require some repair. Though it is beautiful, I I believe that we might be able to offer you, let's say, 45 gold.
Well, he's gonna kind of look towards Rahk. That sounds really nice, right? I think that's more than most commoners make, right?
Does Rahk say anything?
Rock's gonna kind of scrutinize Charlie on this one a little bit, because I feel like we're getting kind of the screws are being put to us, so to speak.
Cort thinks this is a fair and just price. He's like, hell yeah, dude. You could have also said 6 gold, and he would have been like, oh, hell yeah, dude.
I'll give you 2 kappa.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.